I agree. Oh yes. It's Damn Dog. We're Morgan and Beth and Ryan and me, and we are 4 + -1 different.
Oh, here we are.
There you go. Right, nice. I like that you dressed up for the occasion.
Thank you. This is a great occasion, but hey, let me start the show. Welcome to Tavern Talk. That's right, everybody. We are doing an Amazon-only show deep dive, and joining us is Podcast of the Dragon, Morgan, and Beth Weston from, I gotta say, The Way of the Leaf, and MaTsDaGgerX the channel. You are anyway, so yeah, let's get it. Hey, I just lost my train of thought there. I had a joke and I said no, I'm gonna save it. All right, yeah, we are here to talk about the Amazon show. We are mid-season. We've had 4 episodes down. We have not broken our silence about this show yet. We've talked to our non-readers. We've gotten their opinions, but for the 4 episodes so far, we have the puppets haven't talked at all about this. We've been respectful with Jansen. Jansen can't talk about it. I feel a little icky talking about it if he can't talk about it. Power to my friend. But we're doing it, and we're doing it. Do you feel icky? Is that what you're just saying?
Tiny bit. Like I don't know. If any club that Jansen can't go to, I don't want to go to.
No, definitely. I understand.
Jansen is currently on sabbatical, trying to reach another plane of existence and enlightenment with like-minded people.
Yes. Yeah. Me too.
Support SAG-AFTRA and the WGA, everybody. That's basically it.
That was amazing. That was the best endorsement ever. Morgan.
Hi, Morgan.
Hi.
Yes.
Morgan. Y'all hear me?
I'm Morgan again.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Hear me fine?
Yes.
Yep.
Right on.
Morgan, you just released episode 44. Is it 45?
44.
44. It's another goodie.
Thanks.
Yep.
And and your YouTube, and real quickly, as we are talking about the show, you've done some reactions to the season so far?
Yeah, I'm editing my reaction to episode 4 right now, and I've got the first 3 of them up, and I made a couple of other videos beforehand, in the couple weeks between when I dropped episode 44 and that one, just to brush up on my video editing skills, because it had been so fucking long between seasons. I forgot how to do this.
No, they look great. You sound great, and always I love hearing you talk about anything Wheel of Time. Guys,
got a dedicated space now. I'm not just sitting on my bed looking, not cool. So
no, you look cool anywhere. Let's just put that out there.
My wife
Love
got
the
that.
Not today, Shaitan.
for Christmas or something. She found that on Etsy, and I never had a good place for it, and now I do. So.
All right. I think my guess. So I've not viewed a lot of the content that's being made around this. Kind of keeping my thoughts pure in that way. So I know that there's a lot of Easter eggs that are out there. I know that people have solved some mysteries. I want to learn them. So if anyone knows these kind of what's been going on, I'd love to hear about it. Let's bring it out into the conversation. But before that, I just want to say that I am pleasantly surprised and relieved that season 2 is kind of hitting it out of the ballpark for me. I'm having a great time watching them. I think that season 1 was, difficult for me in that I had to mourn the loss of the kind of the pure canon. I had to mourn, I secretly just really want to just watch the books come to life, and I know that that's not going to happen in my lifetime. In the way that I kind of want it. So I had to mourn that while trying to consume this content and talk about it and kind of be a part of this whole thing. So I think I've kind of purged my demons, and I'm just I'm along for the ride. They pretty much like abandoned so many things that and that's fine for me. It's just, and it's not going to be fine for a lot of people, and I still can sympathize, but that's not where I'm at. I'm seeing some great writing. I'm seeing still the excellent use of the natural environments, these amazing panoramic shots. The use of nature as a set is more complicated to do than it seems, and they do a great job. I think that I'm seeing some amazing acting. I'm seeing like little two-person plays happening, vignettes that have like scenes that go from start to finish and resolve in really satisfying ways. And I'm loving how it's all coming together. And so I'm just thrilled to be a part of this again. It got stressful if we all just want to be honest about it. Season 1 was stressful for people. And it cast a chasm in the community that was kind of palpable to watch just on Twitter and whatnot. So I think that they had time and they're using it wisely, and I don't know how you guys feel, but that's where I'm at. I can't wait.
Let's ask the ladies. So what are your overall thoughts, without getting too specific? What are your overall thoughts of season 4 so far, or season 2 so far? We're halfway through.
Morgan, you go first.
Oh, okay. I think it's fire. Yeah, I'm endlessly happy with it. I personally, I kind of expound. Sorry, whatever. My brain isn't working. I expand upon it in a couple of short videos that I do. That because of the pliability that's allowed due to the canon, as far as the everything's happening over and over and over again. Basically, everything is allowed within the canon of RJ's world, and so I'm along for the ride no matter what, because I'm like, well, that could happen, and so I'm just like, take me wherever, and where they're taking me is, I'm just like, all right, and it's awesome, and so I'm so here for it.
I've been really happy with season 2 so far. I gave season 1 a 6.5 to maybe a 7 on a good day.
I think that's where I was too. Yeah.
And I think Ryan, kind of matching with what you said, if you kind of turn the switch off, that's the book switch, and you just enjoy it where it's based on the works of, and you kind of accept it's a in some aspects a very true to Jordan's writings, but in a lot of aspects they're being very liberal with the story making decisions that they've taken. And if you can just enjoy it as television, as entertainment, the wow factor is definitely stepped up in season 2. So I personally have enjoyed every week more and more and more. Personally,
well, help me assuage some of one of the biggest issues I have with this season is that we are halfway through. We're halfway through. That's the issue I have. We only have 8 episodes, and I like these episodes that we've had, but the pacing is a little weird. I don't know. As of right now, I'm not entirely sure what the plot of this season is, and we only have 4 more things going. Right. So it's going to accelerate, I think, greatly. Suddenly there's all kinds of shit that's going to happen. I like the pacing. I wish we had at least 8 more episodes still remaining, so that these episodes would make more sense. To me, they're again spending time on things that, the character building. It's like a Sopranos episode, but the Sopranos had 16 or 20 episodes a season, so they could do this kind of thing. That I think I love what I'm watching, but I'm like, gosh, we're halfway done, and we haven't done shit really for the most part.
And we have longer episode runtimes this season. Every episode is 5 to 7 minutes longer than last season were, for the most part. And I do agree with you. I think that there are some instances I'm trying to understand why the writers are spending so much time on explaining the relationships between Aes Sedai and Warders. I think honestly that's the one thing that I'm really struggling with, because I don't get why 25 to 30% of episodes are being spent on further explaining this connection between an Aes Sedai and her warder. That's the thing. I think the one thing for me this season, the one thing that I wish was kind of trimmed back. I loved the step-in episode in episode 6, I think, last year. I loved it or 5. Whichever one.
It was 5. Oh, the dreaded 5.
I thought it was a fantastic episode. I thought I did a great job of giving exposition without really giving exposition. But doing it again this year, it's too much for me as a book person, wanting to see so much more happening on the screen. I think it's too much this year. Going into the whole relationship with Maxim and Ivan and Alana, show us them, yes please, because oh my god, snack orders and Alana, hello.
Oh, Maxim,
but
god.
You don't need to go delve into the intricacies of their relationship. To me, that's anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I
so
think
go on. Yeah, bro.
I think that they're doing a lot of exploration. They're showing kind of a compare and contrast of families, because like in episodes, I don't know how specific we're getting, but we're seeing like different families, different ways that Aes Sedai, whether they choose to shut themselves off and be cold and stop loving people, or whether they choose to accept their pain and, you know, continue to love and have relationships. They're doing a lot of great contrast, showing like the age difference and, you know, what it is to have to carry that kind of burden. And I think one of the reasons that they're kind of really building that whole thing is that I'm assuming that Maxim is going to die at some point. And so they have to kind of have that set up there to show us what happens on the other end, basically, when he dies. And so
Rafe would truly become a dark friend, or reveal his dark friendness if he kills his lover.
Well, but that's true to the canon of the book.
It
it's
is,
just that they changed Maxim's name because they couldn't have Owain and Owen in the same season. But
right.
But he is presumably going to die if they're going to keep to the canon of Alana losing one of her warders, and Ivan is the one who lives. So, which is terrible to lose such a stack, but it's like, you know,
yeah, but which one would you give up? I mean, I wouldn't want to give up either one.
Yeah.
So my biggest, it's funny you brought up episode 5. That's a thorn on my side. I thought episode 5 was just one distraction that was unnecessary, and my argument was like, let's let Moiraine, let's let Daniel Henney and Rosamund Pike act this shit out. Let's let their ability to be the emotional focal point, and they're proving that. I actually really enjoy how they've. It might be a little bit longer than I agree. It might be a little bit too long, but I agree. I think that they are definitely really acting the shit out of this, and improved. So, if episode 5, so to that point, to make it belabor this point, if there was no episode 5, then season 2 is perfect because it's all needed. We need to understand this stuff. But since I already got a whole episode of this, and someone kills himself literally from grief over the loss, like I think. We are seeing a little bit of overkill in season 2. I agree.
Lan seems so zen about the whole fucking thing. He is just so cool as ice. It's like, hey, Lan, you okay? He's like, of course I am. I'm Lan.
Well, because it's not the same thing. It's just the fact that she couldn't unmask the bond. The bond hasn't been severed.
Right.
And so it's not the same. It's almost more like he's like jonesing. And she's being a dick. And so the combination of the fact that two people who never had to learn how to talk to each other suddenly don't have this, like, you know, emotional symbiosis where, you know, their substitute for talking and having conversations is gone. Plus, she's dealing with trauma and wants him to fuck off because she feels like that's for the best, and he won't. And so she acts like a dick to try to get him to fuck off. And
what is behind that? Why is she pushing him away? Why would he not be an asset to her?
She's locked down at this point, I think. I think she's afraid that she's going to get him killed and he'd be better off with someone else. I think that they're playing it so she doesn't think she's going to get her powers back because, who could deal with the shield? There's no male channeler she can go to untie it. And, she probably feels it's for the best that he goes and finds somebody else. And is it okay? No, I'm firmly of the opinion that no trauma or mental illness makes it okay to take stuff out on other people, but it also seems like, Lan is the kind of person where you really have to work hard to make him leave you, so, yeah.
Yeah, this version of Lan, to me, is this is where I'm not seeing any trauma in him at all. I'm not seeing this history. It seems like the best way he would recover is like surfing in Costa Rica.
I can totally see that.
Like this isn't a guy who wants to just go fight Trollocs until he dies. Like I'm not seeing, and he seems just so chill with everything. That I know that Lan in the books is like stone faced, but this Lan is just chill. I don't know. There's a difference. I like Daniel Henning, but he's not portraying like Lan, like them trying to protect Lan from himself. Man, this Lan is good. This Lan is reading fucking Siddhartha.
All right, well, that's a good point. Someone earlier on in chat said, "Oh, here we go. I think Lan is up to something. He is not stupid. Knows they follow him around. Knows the old tongue and land fear. He is onto something. I think we're underestimating him." And I agree. Yeah. He is playing them while they think they're playing him. Right. It's freaking Lan. He's not gonna. Oh, is Lan sleeping? Lan doesn't sleep.
Lan doesn't sleep.
Right.
Lan doesn't sleep.
No.
Right. I mean, I agree. I agree with that for sure. Lan is, I think, second to Rand. Lan is going to be the hero of the season. Something is going to happen, and he's going to have this. He's going to have Nynaeve's mass healing moment last year. Is going to be. It's a Lan moment this year. I hope at least, because we have not seen any signs of the Master Swordsman, or of the.
Well, he took on 4 Murdral.
And he got gutted and would have died if Varen hadn't healed.
He lasted longer than I would have. It's like this game. It's like when you're getting jumped. Though? It's like it's really how long you last. Right,
I'm just saying that
No, there's totally going to be the Rambo moment when he's like pulling his hair back into the Hidori.
It needs to happen. You
would have beat the male draw in a free throw contest, right?
I was over 60%.
You're funny.
All right, Brother Dan, you always look comatose. Our new friend Muskie Tribe is laughing at you, just so you know. Laughing
because I always look comatose?
Yes. All right, the Moiraine I know would do anything to quote unquote save the world, right? Like that's the Moiraine I know is on a mission and would put up with a mopey Lan if she thought Lan was an asset to her. Why is Lan not an asset to her? Or is she just so emo right now she just can't see him as an asset?
Well, Ryan, to the point that I had made earlier, this Lan doesn't seem like he is going to go off and kill himself. So Moiraine isn't as concerned. Book Moiraine would be like, oh yeah, as soon as I let him go, he's off to the Blight going, come here, TreeXHugger! This Lan again wants to go drink a pina colada, maybe try some psilocybin.
So
maybe do an ayahuasca trip.
So I mean, very 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 question like. Okay, so 2 questions. One is what Kevin Murray says or points out. Lan and Moiraine lied to Lana about the bond. Lana thinks she took it away. She doesn't know Moiraine was cut off from the source. And that was something that popped in my head when I think it was Maxon was talking to him, or Alana was talking to him. She's like, "Oh, she took it from you," and yeah, he didn't correct her. So yeah, there's probably some sort of plotting going on to your point, Brother Dan, because he's not as emotionally distraught as you would imagine. Mm-hmm. He had his moment of crying. He cried, did his sword forms, which, but I don't know. Yeah, and
By the way, wear some underwear, Lan, when you're doing sword forms,
like,
right?
what's the sword form for like tears roll down the face? Is that like a
yeah, I was gonna say,
Harden the silk with salt.
with like
no, definitely a degree of difficulty added to it when you're crying your eyes out. But yeah, so I'm more invested in the idea that this is kind of a part of a bigger plot somehow. But although Moiraine and Lan's breakup was pretty fucking brutal.
She was nuts.
So she would have been using him, knowing that he had his tendencies. She would have predicted his responses and played that 5 steps ahead. Because she allowed him to steal that.
I don't think she
poem.
knew he stole it because
What?
he took it.
No, I don't think she knew.
No.
Well, yeah, no, okay, but why she just hasn't looked at it since like
She knows what
traveling all
it
the way?
says.
I mean, she strikes me as the way she's being played as someone who is like, this close from cracking, and so she's moving from task to task to task, trying not to fall apart. So she gets like her bath. I think she gets a daily bath, and she gets to cry in the bathtub, and that's all she gets. And
Right.
after that, she has to shut down and do her thing. But it's like she can't have any of these moments. It's sort of like, she's not taking tea with her, or with her sister just because she's, an asshole and totally closed off. It's like she doesn't want to have any of these intimate moments because any kind of emotion, any kind of feeling, and she's just like that close to absolutely falling apart. And I feel like, especially because she's going home and she's got like, political stuff to do, she just feels like he'll be an encumbrance. And I think she feels like she maybe doesn't have a ton of time. Like, I don't know, she doesn't know if it's going to matter. Is there a difference between whether you're stilled or whether you're just permanently tied off? Like, what difference does it make, really? And so she just kind of feels like...
Well, this does a little bit mirror how Swan handled being cut off from the sword. Well, she was stilled. Is she threw herself into her work, right? Into this dragon. That, like, she threw herself into it, saying, "No, I'm not going to, and I'm not going to succumb to the bleakness, that drive that makes me just yearn for the one power that I can't have anymore." I'm seeing this in Moiraine, where she is just there is no work-life separation for her now. She is all work and just can't suffer any fools. But I think that this is a life-saving measure for her. I think without this sort of dogged determination, she would possibly just wallow and crush.
I also think Lan is continuing to push her for like some kind of communication, and she just can't. She can't engage right now because she only gets that one little daily breakdown in the bathtub, and that's it. And so any kind of like emotional engagement and giving him what he's asking, she just can't give him that right now because she's gonna fall apart if that happens. And so it's easier if he fucks off and quits asking her for that because she can't deal with his needs when her needs are so overwhelming and she's so fragile.
So speaking of that, what do you ladies think of and I'm sorry if this is you ladies, is that fucked up? Am I fucking?
I don't care.
Up? Okay. All right. What
I
my
don't
friend? What do
I
you
don't care.
What do you think of the fact that it seems like it's a really big deal that they are shielding the bond, blocking that bond between Maxim and Alana, and also with Moiraine and Lan? There, it seems like he's like, "Hey, does the White Tower know about this? Holy shit, that's fucked up." Is it a big deal?
I honestly don't have. This is gonna sound so bad. This is one of those times where my eyes almost glazed over during the episode. I loved episode 4 because of the last 12 minutes of the episode.
Okay.
But during some of those conversations, there was like, it just was like, why is this important? Like, what's the point of this?
Right.
Moiraine masked the bond with Lan, so he wouldn't know that she went with Rand to the blight. Then Moradin, Shamael tied her off from the source. So she can't unmask the bond because she can't access the source to unmask the bond.
Would there be a bond anyways if she's mad? If she's tied off?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes,
still there.
because he still has the abilities of a warder. He still has the extra.
Does he?
He fought for Murdral.
Well,
he did.
You know,
he did.
And
he's not wrecked the way that
that Steppen.
And he said I should have been able to detect them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong. Like, I've appreciated those kinds of explorations because I feel like they're exploring how, you know, everybody's relationship with their warders is different. Everybody's marriage is different because Steppen, Maxim was talking to Lan when they were at the well getting water about how, you know, he likes it when she masks the bomb, which I totally get, because it was like I couldn't deal with having a warder. I could not handle having that kind of, you know, deep, intimate, emotional sharing. I'm too sensitive. You know, every time I'd feel a flicker of irritation, I'd be thinking, what did I do? You know, like I just could not. Yeah, I couldn't handle that. It would just be so stressful, and I can imagine that, you know, that's probably something that's a reasonable thing to happen a lot, and I think that's something that a lot of people would wonder about, and I feel like it sets up this thing of, like, you know, the tower doesn't get to dictate, like, what your relationship is with your warder, and so it kind of, you know, explores those possibilities. And, you know, I just sort of feel like when it comes to, like, the way that they're presenting, you know, Lan's character, there's so much about the character of Lan in the book that's like, you know, poster child for toxic masculinity, and that's not going to appeal to a modern audience. You know, the regular character as he is in the books would be an immediate turnoff to so much of a modern audience, because it's just like that stony shut-offedness is just like nobody wants to deal with someone like that because it's tiresome. It's sort of like, you know, give us someone who's a little bit more, you know, in touch. And so, yeah, it's just like that's a little bit better. He's hurt. He's willing to admit it. He's frustrated with her. And I like this narrative that they're giving because she's not, it comes across in the book like she's fucking with him just because. You know, like she has her reasons, but
it seems like she's doing what Rand did in the book by trying to push away her friends, right? Rand did that in the book, but now Rand he's not pushing away his friends. He's just like, all right, tell him I'm dead. I'm gonna hook up with the hottest girl in town. And just we're gonna have this whole Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly vibe. We're just gonna walk through town. I'm gonna paint my nails black. I'm gonna wear like cool earrings and stuff. We're gonna wear blood vials of each other.
What are you talking about?
Dude, watching the non-reader reacts to that, depending upon the age and gender of the reactor, like, you know, their appreciation for Rand's little setup there is very, very different. But like some people were like thought Rand was just like locked down, like, yeah, you know, so.
Hell yeah. And I love the line. He's like, "You were the first woman to see me as a man, and I didn't want you to see me as a monster." But that whole idea of like seeing me as a man, well, yeah, that's. I bet you a lot of like 19, 20, 21-year-olds like really like were like, fuck yeah, this is, I associate with that. That's actually where I'm at right now, you know?
Yeah, I watched a React video because there are a lot of people, you know, like I think hardcore monogamists or people who just, you know, felt like how could he just like leave Egwene behind that fast or whatever, and felt like he was being, you know, how like a dirty dog or whatever to just like forget about her, which is I think why they had the scene where he's like, you know, I'm trying to forget and show how sad he is, and that it's also to show how unromantic their situation is actually, you know, you help me remember and I'll help you forget, because gee, doesn't that just make you feel so loved?
Oh no, that made me warm and squishy.
Didn't it? Weren't you just like, I hope I could
find... except then he's confessing his love to her.
Later on, yeah.
Later on.
All right.
I wasn't super impressed by that because I was like, sweetie, he loves everyone. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you sweet.
Aren't you sweet?
Yeah.
You think that means anything? It doesn't. He loved that little boy he gave a coin to. You know? He loves the guy who throws him tortillas every day. You don't think it means anything.
Right. It's tortilla in the morning.
Made Ryan fall out, literally.
I just imagine him waking up in bed next to that guy.
Why not? You know.
So, do you think she is compelling him in any way?
No.
That's what I think. I think she's compelling him the whole time.
I don't think she needs to.
I don't think she needs to. I think the sex is way better than the sex with
Facts.
Egwene. I think that the chemistry is way better than the chemistry is with Egwene. And when you have no past, and because we have no past, and
great
so
name.
there's none of the background of her knowing him as a child, having grown up with him, any of that other kind of stuff. So it's like, technically, he had a sexual relationship with Egwene. They were adults. They were planning on getting married until Egwene's like, I want a career instead. And unfortunately, my career doesn't allow marriage because reasons. It's just sort of like, they were, having an adult relationship as young adults, but that doesn't mean that it was, you're when you're really young and you have a young partner because you're young together, there's a certain childlike aspect, even if you're old enough to be sexually involved with each other. So he has this, creepy cougar who's creeping on him, and,
Is she creepy, though?
No, she's the best. No, she
Uh,
is the best. She is accepting.
no.
She is loving. She is exactly what Rand needs.
Manipulative, she lies, she gaslights. It's like, if you're going to have a relationship with a much younger partner, you have to be straight up front, all of the cards on the table.
Oh,
and
Morgan put me in my place.
I
Sorry,
feel like they communicate. They talk about their exes,
They do
and they don't.
communicate well. Yeah.
No, she has to tie him to a bed before she tells him who she really is, only after she pretends to be frightened of him until he confesses his love, and then she's like, oh no, it's fine.
That was some weird shit. All right, yeah.
No,
So what was she about to do? What did Moiraine interrupt? The best sex
Jesus.
ever?
I don't know. Was she gonna create a butt plug with the one power and insert? I have no idea.
Jesus.
She was going to say, I can channel too, and watch.
I was
Watch
assuming
this
she was
kegel.
going to up the sex game by introducing the one power. I have no idea what she was going to do, but it was just sort of like, yeah.
Rand's reaction was disconcerting. I would have been like all stoked. He was like, "What do you mean?
Are you telling?" She said, "I'm a monster," and then she starts glowing like this. Dan, you look like you're glowing like you. No.
Hit me with your best shot. Dun, dun, dun. I would have started singing Pat Benatar right then.
Yeah.
While tied up.
You would have turtled.
No, I would have
your dick would have been straight up your body.
No, my dick would have been like ready for action, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
If you make me pee my pants because I laugh so hard, I'm going to end you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an option. Hold on.
Yeah,
This is the way.
All right. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, if you're new, please just give us a like and a subscribe. Come back. Don't be shy. Don't be strangers. I'm seeing a lot of new names, and it's thrilling to. So welcome aboard. We have fun here.
So Uno is gone.
R.I.P.
Uno got horned.
Is he
mixed emotions?
I think that's a little too on the point, on the nose. Uno and then horned like that. That was just a little on the nose.
If there was a way for Uno to go out, that's the way for Uno to go out for sure. I thought that was brilliant in showing the brutality of the Shanchan. Just absolutely brilliant, and it was almost like that season 6 of The Walking Dead when Negan makes his first appearance with
and takes out Joe, or what is his name? Neil. Who did he kill?
Oh my God, Glenn and Glenn and I can't see because in the books. You're just because it was just so much more brutal than you'd think, because like in the graphic novels, like stuff's gonna happen, and then it's like, but it it was just, oh man, it was something. It was and that's what that moment was with Uno, was like I wasn't, because you think, okay, Uno's safe because Uno's in.
Yeah, he's
in
got
the last
plot armor.
He becomes
It's a total Ned Stark moment, and so for us who know the books intimately, that was mind blowing.
And to people who don't know the books, it was like, okay, that weird skinny guy with an eye patch died.
Yeah, I was unsurprised just because I figured if he said, I've been trying to make a note of who's going to live and who's going to die, because if they're going to kill a lot more people, which they have to do, or people aren't going to be interested in watching the show who don't read the books, I was just sort of like, okay, well, here's a character that's not necessary. Here's a character who wouldn't be interested in swearing the oaths, and so I was not expecting the horn. So I was just assuming they were going to lob off his head, and I was like, damn, that's extra. But apparently I'm just a terrible person, because I was editing my video, and I noticed during that scene I didn't even, my face was impassive, and I'm like, I must be a monster or something like that. I'm like, everybody else's react videos, they're all horrified, and I'm just sort of like,
just nod.
That happened.
Somebody had put a comment on Twitter about it, about how they didn't like how violent his demise was, because they thought they were just trying to be another Game of Thrones. But I think the thing, and I don't know if it was a reader or a non-reader, because I don't remember who did the post, but I think the thing that we have to remember is that the Wheel of Time is graphically violent. It is so violent, and he doesn't go into great granular detail about the violence that is happening, but violence is everywhere. It happens all the time. So to expect this not to have its very gratuitously over the top, make you want to turn your head away moments is not realistic, in my opinion. And I'm so glad they did this, because they're staying true to the vision of the brutality of the world that they're living in,
Well, talking about staying true, do you think we've seen the Shanshin a couple times now? We've seen a head mask that looked like a Grom, but we have not seen actual Grom. We haven't seen Rockin' or Toe Rockin' or whatever. We haven't seen Lopar. We haven't seen any of these cool kind of fucking like weapon monsters, right? Do you think that we are going to at all?
No, probably not. From a CGI standpoint, from an effects budget standpoint, I think it's going to be easier for them to bring in creatures like elephants and other, horned beasts that we know they have. I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine that they're going to spend a bunch of money on SFX on animals that aren't really going to. I don't. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
what do you think, Morgan?
Animals that I think would be absolutely worth bringing in would frankly be the Rockin' and the Toe Rockin', because of what they provide tactically. The other animals are not absolutely necessary to provide the Shanshin any particular tactical advantage that couldn't be provided by cavalry or some other form of fighting force. But the flyers provide a completely different and unique tactical advantage for the Shanshin, and so that would be worth having, but I still don't know that they'll do it. It's not necessary.
We did see at least the Easter egg on the ship, when that ship that wipes out the little girl with the wave. There is a Grom on the head mask. There's at least a creature with 3 eyes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
man, I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed. I hope they consider that to be a priority, just to show how exotic and crazy this land is. But I'm not counting on it either.
Well, if Rand ever visits, that'd be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, and just ends up like in a zoo. And walks and just sees all these crazy animals. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that, actually.
I honestly love all the little Easter eggs that they give us to kind of be like, well, we couldn't show you that, but here's your little Easter eggs all tucked in. I think they're lots and lots of fun.
I think I missed every one of them.
Tiny little bones they're throwing us.
Well, I mean, like, Lanfear's a skinny innkeeper. And like, I don't think we're gonna get Gaul.
That's great.
I think Avienda's the Aiel in the cage, but when the dead Aiel in the first season, when Matt's emptying out his pockets, he has a little stone dog in his pocket. And
we had that little. We had
dog,
the posts inside, right outside the Four Kings Inn. In season 1 and episode 3 with Dana. There were a lot of Easter eggs.
And even the fade on the door, it showed its boots, and I don't think that if you hadn't read the book, you would be like, oh, it scratched through the door with its heels. But all us book readers are like, oh yeah, there's marks on the door. That's where it's kicking.
All right. Let's guide this conversation and talk about some of the changes and where we think they're going to be going with these changes. We have Min ostensibly working for a Forsaken directly. Is that gonna no.
She doesn't want to do it.
But she is. I mean, yeah.
She will because she wants to get rid of
she wants the carrot is the I mean, a lot of people do things for the reward.
But she's not she doesn't want to do it.
The minute that she heard Forsaken, she's like, the deal is off, and got up out of the fucking chair, and then got yanked back down.
Okay, yeah. So he did slap her down with the power. Although, hey, did you notice that there was no weaves when he did that?
Because it was probably from her perspective, so she wouldn't see them.
Is that what we're seeing? Like any? But okay,
so
then how? Well, no. What about freaking? Okay, what about?
Think about it. Hold on. Channeled.
Wait. When we are Winter's Beltane, right? Sorry, Jesus Christ, Beltane. When Moiraine's channeling all over the place, whose perspective is seeing that? I thought that was like a general, right? Or like how we all saw that.
Yeah, it's a general perspective to show the entire audience, look what I said I can do. So that shows.
But you don't think anyone there saw it?
She was launching fireballs.
No, I think that was just basically she sees it, and it's, she comes out and she takes center stage, so that's like, her moment.
But we distinctly see, we see Nynaeve and Egwene see her destroy a Trolloc in front of them. We see the weaves whip it through it, and it dies. Like, it's still, and our non-readers don't know if we're seeing the weaves or not. I actually can't tell.
Right, when Logain saw Nynaeve and said, like 1,000 suns.
Yeah,
it's alluded that that's because her power was so fucking that it was just too bright. I mean, his face glowed.
Yeah.
It did. And that's one of the inconsistencies that I had a problem with in season 1, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So when Rand and she were having sex, and she's like, "I'm not afraid. Go ahead and give it to me.
Show me. Yeah.
Yeah. Show me. Well, give it to me. Show me. Yeah. But he was having these things around him. Was she seeing those?
No. In fact, I think that was just a dirty dream.
Oh, he was dreaming the entire time?
Yeah, I think so.
So they're slamming each other against the wall in his dreams. What a dirty dog.
What a dog.
Like he can't do it in real life. You're just gonna.
There's no tenderness even in your dreams, right?
Yeah, he woke up and he was wearing different clothes and lit the ceiling on fire.
See, I thought it was the classic. They had sex. He passes out. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go do something productive." She bails, does some business. He wakes up and then had his dream. Okay.
So that's another thing. So he burns her house down. She's like, "Oh, that's fine. I haven't had a vacation in a while. Let's go." And then Moiraine finds her. I'm confused how Moiraine finds them.
Because
her sister hooked her
up. The sister's
got
all the spies.
This was an unplanned thing. All the guard would know is oh yeah, they left through the gate after her house burned down. I don't know where they went. They went that way.
Spying on her.
Well, who? I mean, in the forest, they went.
Yes, the eyes and ears.
Eyes and ears, yeah.
She said, "I got all your eyes and ears, bitch. They're mine."
Dummies. No, I don't know.
No, I mean everything.
That doesn't make sense. It was an unplanned thing. She just said, "All right, fuck it, let's go."
Sinan agrees with you.
I got a place. Thanks, Sinan.
I feel like
he's my favorite person ever. By the way,
drunk check Sinan. I think Sinan might need to. Yeah.
Sinan.
I feel like Jordan lays it out pretty clearly with the way that things operate in Cairhien, is that all of the little people around the Foregate that she works with and that she knows would all have heard or known about where she was going. It's not like she's particularly discreet. Also, can we talk about how she grabbed that shovel when she tried to talk him into going? Kind of grab the handle of the shovel,
Oh yeah, you want to be alone, and
you
then
want to be alone.
Grip.
I would really like to talk about the best character of the season, in my opinion.
Lanfear.
Liandrin.
Okay, yeah.
Fleetwood as Liandrin.
Kicking ass, taking names.
I was watching Nabless's reaction video, and he said 2 weeks in a row she needs to be nominated for an Emmy for Best Supporting Actress. She is just killing it as Lanfear, and as Liandrin. And at first, I was very confused why they were spending so much time with this trust building between Nynaeve and Liandrin. I was like, I don't really get what the point of it is, but then you see it in, again, the last 12 minutes of episode 4, it all comes to a head. Because at first I was like, are they going to make her Black Aja? Are they going to make her go there? Is it going to happen? Or are they merging her with Elida, and are they going to get rid of the Black Aja aspect of it? But heck no, they're not getting rid of the Black Aja aspect of it. Yep. I am so here for it. And I really do think she's remorseful when she says, I'm sorry I have to do this, and she uses the power and hurls them against, because I do think she genuinely has some sort of weird affection for Nynaeve, and I just love everything about her this season.
Well, do you think she's just been
her wardrobe, her mannerisms, her speeches, her fierceness? I hated Liandrin in the books, and I love Liandrin in the show. Show Liandrin is chef's kiss.
The complexity that they have added to her has been really all for the positive. Giving her a son.
Oh my God! Having the man in North Harbor.
All this stuff really adds to just the layers of her. I think she's the most interesting character in this series right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Book Liandrin is not a compelling character, though I will say that Rosamund Pike's reading of the character, she's first of all really good at doing Kate Fleetwood's voice, and secondly, because she's such a good actress, able to, even with the way that Jordan writes her, able to make her much better, much more interesting, and even able to fill in depth with her character in a way that I've never been able to read it. So I was really impressed with that.
Sinan, your kindness is only surpassed by your punctuality. Really, you're always on time, and we love it. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. You are awesome.
But yeah, I like the idea that they're giving her I saw somewhere that it seems like they're giving everybody things to where, temptations toward the dark. So whether it's, Min being able to get rid of her visions, it's not just Rand facing temptations. And, whereas Liandrin's temptations in the book, she was always I was always a piece of shit. I was a horrible, spiteful, envious little asshole from basically the day that I was born. And when I got to the tower, I was looking for other evil people to mentor me in my evil, because I've only ever wanted to be a terrible person. And so having the nuance and the reason behind it, they've been pushing the narrative this season, from the conversation that Inktar has with Perrin in the first episode about what's the reason why, because you should ask the reason why. Everybody's got a reason why. Mm-hmm. Which I think is a really good narrative to explore, because we read the books and it's such a shitty, we're always why would anybody be a dark friend? Because it turns out shitty for everybody. So it's they're trying to show us there's a real reason why you might do it.
They're humanizing it. They're giving it an intimacy into the like even in a 30-second speech, like Dana in episode 3 of season 1, explaining why she even when she was talking to Rand before she, had her reveal, she was explaining, like, stuck in this, shithole village my entire life, dealing with these same people and eking out this existence, and what's the purpose of it all. And she's just, and that's the thing, like, everybody has their own reason for it, but it makes it, you can relate to it, because how many people feel like they've been stuck in their same eking out their existence, and so it humanizes the whole thing, and I think that's one thing that they've definitely done well.
And they decided in this humanization to also include Min as a dark friend. And
she's not a dark friend. She's not a dark friend.
She's not a dark friend. Not even close. No.
She is doing deeds with for a Forsaken in order to lose her power.
That doesn't make her a dark friend necessarily, and she's not going to end up doing it. She's not going to end up doing it. She's going to have a redemption arc.
An Aes Sedai told her, "Here's a way to get rid of your powers." She had a vision of Matt shanking his friend, a guy that she already knows. So it's like not exactly like she's got this pure, clean guy that she's just throwing under the bus. You could tell the whole time she feels shitty about it, and the minute that she realizes when she's like, "No, actually, you have to go to the dark for this," she's like, "Fuck it, I'm out." That was not the deal. And so it's obviously that's not the way that it's going to continue, and I feel
how is this going to affect her and Rand, though? I mean, is she part of the throuple still?
I'm assuming as much, but also what they're doing here is actually giving her some kind of narrative or motivation that isn't Rand-centric, because the entire book series, everything that she does has to do with Rand, which makes her one of my least favorite characters, because it's sort of like, I fell in love with this shepherd against my will, and everything that I do is driven by that, because I have these visions and my life has no agency, and it's just like, fuck that. This is something, this is like, I have this thing, I hate it, it hurts me, I thought this would give me a way to get rid of it. Oops, that wasn't what I signed up for. So now she's in this stressful, terrible place. Presumably they'll get her a way to get out of it, some manner of redemption arc. I'm assuming that she and Matt are going to kick ass in some way. This will be a relatively short situation. I also really love the fact that they started the season out with the cold open having Ishii kind of laying out his theme of moral relativism, since that's kind of always his thing throughout the book. And it's just really good. I really appreciate it that they're it's just not all mwahaha. They try to make it seem like it's mwahaha, but not necessarily.
And he brought it up again this last episode, pretty much the same thing. Father of lies, betrayer betrayer of hope.
Everybody's so dramatic. They call me all these names, but it's not even fair.
I love that we are not getting half-crazed Ishamael, who really thinks he's the Dark One. When the first 3 books, when he's like, fires in the sky.
That was very confusing.
I mean, I love this very matter-of-fact, deal with me, I'm going to deal with you. I'm a businessman. Let's negotiate. Let's have a negotiation, right? I love that. I'm here for it. I think Ferris is doing an amazing job of playing Ishii. But real quick, I'm going to interject. I'm going to go, guys. My knee is starting to bother me a little bit.
Okay.
All right. No, you're a trooper. You've hung in there.
Yeah,
everyone find her on Twitch. She streams when she can.
I will be back. My streaming schedule is resuming next week. I'm going to stream 2 nights next week, Tuesday night and Friday night for a couple hours.
That'll be your
things go.
That'll be your that's your Rocky moment, right?
Exactly.
Push-ups. One arm.
Exactly. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Morgan. It was awesome talking to you again.
It was great to see you too. Take care.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's been a subject I've brought up several times on historical tavern talks, that I believe that all dark friends are to be forgiven. And that if we lived Pater's life, we would have gotten punched by Rand, because the Dark One uses these things against you, and just like media compels us to behaviors we are unaware of, controls behavior on mass levels. Like the Dark One finds your you might have a
Rupert Murdoch. Is that what
yeah.
you're saying?
You might like I love the idea of Liandrin being a dark friend because of her son. That is how I see a lot of people becoming dark friends. Like they are being manipulated, they're being cajoled, they're being threatened. I don't think these are totally acts of free
point
will.
that you had made before is that a lot of dark friends are actually threatened and compelled through violence that involve their family. Randy experiences that where his mom's like, "Oh God, it burns! If only you just hang out with this dude, just sign that paper, and then I'll be happy. Oh, it burns." And why shouldn't we assume that someone didn't come up to Pater and say, "Hey, if you don't become a dark friend, I'm gonna fucking kill your mom."
Yeah. Your cousins are gonna die the death that never ends, right?
One a week is dead until you do this. We've seen this sort of behavior.
Yeah, so it's really cool that they're exploring that, and that the Wheel of Time watches our show and has really taken up these plot points.
Great.
Yeah.
By the way, your boyfriend is super hot.
Yeah.
Oh, God, your boyfriend is so hot. Right.
You're turning my brother.
Oh, man, I'm wearing a dress for him.
Just want to be noticed.
Just for him.
So I really like that they're exploring that, and I really, really like that they're exploring this concept of the age and oh my gosh, brother Dan, we have a new member. We don't even talk about this. We have members. We've started. You are our first member, Sinan. We've started memberships. Apparently, YouTube allows us to offer membership. So if you want to be a member of the Leaf tiers, we'll workshop it. The way the Leaf Club. You could. I guess there's a join button. It's cheap.
Thank you, Sin.
Wow, that's really exciting. Sorry, got derailed there. The thing I was going to say is and there you go. Your next when you are a member.
Right, does that make her the original Sin?
She is the original Sin.
Come on.
Sin.
That's a good one.
All right, so now when you message us, you have a special colored message, and if you're there the next month, I believe your name changes color, so it's fun. I really enjoyed this the concept of the aging and how they're exploring that to great length, like Moiraine meeting her younger sister, who's decidedly much older, and the way they set it up with her waking up with white ass hair. And then putting on this wig.
What's wrong with putting on wigs, right?
No, nothing's wrong with it, Robert Smith.
Don't I look a little younger?
You look like Robert Smith when he wakes up and before he teases it up. That's just Robert Smith in the morning. Jesus, Robert Smith on a bender. Ryan,
I lack a lot of smeared lipstick.
Go get it.
Just
do it, Dan. Just smear it all. All right, so yeah, but I don't know if everyone else agrees. I think it's one of the most compelling diversions from the book. It's within the canon. It is a phenomenon, but we don't see it playing out in this way. And here we have Moiraine meeting her younger sister, and we have Liandrin and her son, who is decidedly looks much older than him. Our non-reader, Lady Catherine, thinks that could
be Moraine's daughter.
That instead of that being her sister, that's Moraine's daughter, but that sister doesn't know. It's just, it's complicated, but it's what do you think about that? This whole idea of them exploring it. Do you think it's worthwhile?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I felt it was a little bit too heavy for the butler to tell her it was her older sister. They should have just said it's your sister, since Moiraine is hello, little sister. I felt like that would have been a little more impactful with the writing, but I don't want to be too critical about it, because I felt like that was just chef's kiss beautiful, everything that they did. I was jonesing for Damodred family drama. Like the minute that I saw that they were going to have Moiraine be the Aes Sedai and Karri instead of Varen, I was like, that works so well for this narrative. And since like of all of the stuff that goes on in the Great Hunt, like the shit show that goes down in Kyrian and everything that like sets up, like being able to break all that down was one of the things that made me start my podcast, because I was like, I want to do like an episode that breaks everything down about this because it's so good. So being able to do that, but also incorporate Moraine's story into it, like this just swapping out one Aes Sedai, and oh, it was so good.
Did you notice that? Did you know she was Damodred when we meet her in the first episode talking to Rand?
Anver? No.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I knew she was a Damodred because I had known that they were having Anver and that's one of Moraine's sisters.
Okay.
But you don't know, like, if you don't know that, then you don't know until she's talking to Moiraine. You know, she's her sister. And you only know... as far as what the show tells you, you know that Moraine's, a lady from a fallen house, because when the White Cloaks approached them in episode 2 of the first season, and Moraine tells the kids, don't say anything if you don't have to. Here's our backstory. I'm a lady from a fallen house. You're under my care, which I thought was really smart character building, because it's right before she has a conversation with Egwene about how we'll always tell the truth. So they like slid that in there. And, yeah, so I've just sort of like show us all of the Damodred family drama. I'm assuming Barthanas is going to be Anver's son, and I'm wondering, I'm assuming we're going to get a party, and I'm wondering what kind of shit show is going to fall out. Are we going to get a giant catastrophe that happens in some way so that we do get the Civil War? Because that sounds like great. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have that happen, because I don't know that we're going to have the Shido. I feel like the Shido is something that you could completely cut out, because you don't need them for anything, especially if they're not going to have the Stone of Tearfall until after Rand goes to the Waste. That you especially don't need it. But yeah, I'm just so ready to see what they do there. So.
That's a good point. How will they handle the IEL, and what will they include and what won't they? Will they include Ruidian?
Yes. Yeah, they will absolutely include that. But I'm guessing that they're gonna have the stone fall after Rand goes to Ruidian. And
then get Kalendor?
Yeah. Okay. But I don't know for sure. It just seems like that's the way they're doing it.
I hope Kalendor once he gets it, it like becomes his thing. The fact that he like got it and then just put it in the ground and left and used his fire sword was.
It was always weird. Yeah.
I hope he kind of.
I mean, it comes back in the end in a big way, obviously.
Right.
Like the biggest way possible.
Right.
But yeah,
like it was incredibly politically astute to do it. You've got a country run by shitheads and you have to leave, so sticking
Yeah.
It just like lay it on the table, man. Just put it all out there.
Here's my treasure, and it's trapped, and you can't take it out, and I'm going to come back for it. And if you want to rule, but
good luck.
Just know if you fuck up, yeah. Yeah.
I gotta say, I like Elaine a lot. I don't like her role necessarily as the knowledge of all tower lore and everything. It seems
Elainopedia.
Yeah, that's the one in the books.
Yeah, Wiki Elaine. But I like her. And I think I'm going to like her more and more as she kind of comes into her own.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving Isle Roofmistress. Everyone, let's all say hi to Isle Royale Roofmistress. That's a tongue twister.
Isle Royale with cheese.
If you're here one more week, I'll give you a nickname.
If somebody in the comments is saying we need the Shido for Dumais Wells, but we absolutely don't.
No.
All we need is for Rand to be kidnapped and to blow people up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's getting blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's hard to really speculate. Again, like they are, everything seems to be just kind of off the rails.
Yeah, and I'm so here for it. I'm just like, take me wherever. I don't care.
Morgan, have you been like me that every time they go to the water yard, you're like, Gallon and Galad, Gallon and Galad?
I don't care about Gallon and Glad, honestly. If they had cut them, I wouldn't have cared because, you know, like, especially, like, I don't like Gowan at all, and I don't want Egwene to end up with him, so I would prefer that, like, he'd be cut or that they had just combined him with Galad. And it sounds like the guy who is playing Galad is a giant twat waffle, so I'd rather they just kill him off, but...
Twat waffle, Ryan! Twat waffle!
Wait, was he? Did he storm the Capitol on January 6th?
I feel like Elaine,
I don't think
like,
he
listening
did
to
that,
Matt.
but probably only because he's British or Irish or some shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's whatever. It sounds like he sounds perfect for playing Galad. But yeah, I just
Twat waffle.
I don't think you. Hey, look, Brother Dan and I are very Irish. I think let's just say he's British.
If you had to keep one of the brothers, it's far more important to keep Galad, and you know, it's like as far as the story and just like where Gowan ends up. It's apparently if Jordan had planned for the books to end with Egwene pregnant with Gowan's baby, at which point I find death a far preferable fate for her. So it's kind of like, okay, but yeah, I just like I don't care about them, and I don't really want to, you know. Whatever, I don't care what happens to them. So,
yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I have an idea. Let's give our let's do a mid-season Academy Awards ceremony right now. All right, I think I did. Here Comes the Bride. All right, so let's first category is Best Male Actor of the first 4 seasons. Who do you give the Academy Award to Best Male Actor?
First 4 episodes.
First 4 episodes. And we're going to hear from chat too. Everyone vote in chat. Who gets the Academy for Best Male Actor first 4 seasons?
I probably have to give it to Rand. Or Yosha. I think Yosha understands the character of Rand tremendously, and he really hits it for me. He's getting all of his sweetness, and he's also starting to show like the wear and tear, and he's just doing a beautiful job, and like showing his absolute fear of being rejected once he's finally revealed to be a channeler, and just it was heartbreaking and beautiful, and he's great.
I second exactly what you said, Morgan. What we have seen with Rand is the growth of a character. We've seen a boy who is now shacking up with he has the confidence of being in a relationship, and you're able to see that in Yosha's portrayal of Rand with Celine. I think I really like this portrayal, this image of Rand that we're getting now, that is him being a man who has sex and has this confidence. That matters. Like if you're getting laid, then there is a certain amount of just like well-being that comes with that, comes with having having someone that's really into you. And I think that Rand's portraying that really well.
Well, the fundamental kindness and decency that also he has, and it's being displayed very well with the way he deals with the patient, and just his like general interactions. He's just really, really good. Though somebody also put down Ferris, and I agree that he could also be a strong second candidate. He is brilliant, and he steals every scene he's in.
He sure does. He sure does. Yeah, Isamael that's that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would. For me, it's Marcus Rutherford, and this is a pleasant surprise because I thought he was one of my least favorite characters, and I was concerned about whether he was a good actor because he had so little to do in episode season 1. So, yeah, I love his portrayal. He's showing so many different sides, and from the rage to the lighthearted. To the sentimental, and the interactions between him and Loyal were were very just like spot on. I mean, those are the moments that remind me of the books, and it feels great. So yeah, let's next category. I think in chat it seems like we're getting a lot of Yosha, Ferris, some people voting more than once. Oh yeah, Morte. That I would actually give my second to Alvaro. But yeah, don't forget we're gonna have the best supporting male actor category. So yeah. So here, the next category is the best female actor in the first 4 episodes.
It has to be Kate because she's so good. Even though I feel like Rosamund Pike is incredible as Moiraine, and I feel like if Kate Fleetwood weren't so incredible, it would be one of those things where it's sort of like they open and they're like, and the Oscar goes to, and you know that it's just cruel to have to choose, because I feel like what Rosamund does to the character of Moiraine and being able to add the dimensions on screen that you just can't get in the book is, you know, and partly that's like I'm a giant Moiraine stan, and so seeing her do that is just incredible. Even though, like, where she's at right now, I just want to push her down the stairs, but that's fine. Like, she's in a place right now where that works. But yeah, just Kate Fleetwood, she's just...
Once again, I agree with Morgan, and I think that the reason why is because Kate has just had better scenes in these 4 episodes than Moiraine has. Yeah. Moiraine has had to, although when she told off Lan, that was a pretty powerful scene when she was trying to drive him off. I really appreciated the acting portrayal there when he's like, you can't lie, tell me, were we ever equals? And she's like, no.
Yeah, most of Moraine's acting is with her face at this point. Kate's got a lot of really good lines, and she gets to do a lot of like really body acting where she's just like, she takes up a lot of space and just does lots of... And the fact that she's also, with her acting, building relationships. Like, she builds this relationship with Nynaeve and then betrays her. And you see her explore how she's really emotionally unstable. She strikes you as someone who, like, wants to, you know, be a good Aes Sedai, but she doesn't have the patience for it, or she wants to be a good friend but just doesn't have it in her, or it's like all of these things that she would like to be, but the effort that you have to put in to be a good person or to be a patient friend or to be all those things, like, she loves her son. You know she wasn't a good mom. I'm guessing she was a mildly narcissistic mom who smothered her son and also neglected him.
She was probably very judgmental as well.
Yeah, and super judgy. Every time she's frustrated, she says things to people just that's designed to just stab, stab. You know, she's an asshole, but also someone who you could tell, like, wants emotional connections to people, but doesn't know how to do it right. Like, she's just got all of that going on, whereas Moiraine is so closed off, and because she's not having relationships with people, you're not getting her reflecting off. So it's just sort of like Kate can't help but steal the show because she's going around and wrecking everyone and just like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, Liandrin, I bet, did a lot of, like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Did a lot of silent treatment stuff.
She mentioned all the little insecurities. It was just always with the insecurities.
Yeah, she's like, are you going to have another Twinkie?
Martisu... No, Rafe is on record as saying that he's doing Elida. Their paths are completely different, so I highly doubt that they're combining the two of them. I think that they're probably going to combine her with characters like Galena and Katerin, a lot of high-powered, and possibly, honestly, I think they might combine her with Alviarin, and that she might end up being Elida's keeper.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so Liandrin, I think, I mean, her whole thing with, she has shown more vulnerability talking in that one thing about her son, keeping him in Tar Valon, than Book Liandrin ever showed to anyone ever.
Well, Book Liandrin doesn't care about people. Book Liandrin is just, you know, I don't even know that she Alviarn in the books is actually like like a psychopath, but Book Liandrin, I don't even know if she counts as that. She's just like a petty little shit, a fundamentally shitty person, jealous, hateful, all of those things. But like, I don't even know that she counts as somebody who's like got what it takes, got whatever is fundamentally wrong that makes her, actually like a malignant narcissist or whatever. But yeah, she's just, this person is actually someone who has like, a reason or a bargain that she wants to make, so she's got everything that makes her a train wreck of a human being, but not necessarily bad, just difficult to love and difficult to interact with, and somebody I'd want to stay as far away from me as possible.
Yeah. So I think that Kate has had better scenes written for her than Moiraine has, but my award goes to Lanfear.
Yeah.
Lanfear has killed it. She is the most likable person, I think, which is something Lanfear should not be, and yet she is still Lanfear to me. So I love what she's doing with it.
Dan, you're not wrong. I'm still in the middle of editing my React video for book 4, and was in the middle of editing the scene where she and Rand are on the hilltop, and she's telling him, if you want something, you have to take it. And I noticed my facial reaction is I have this dopey smile, like what they're doing is actually cute and romantic, and I'm just sort of like, damn, they really... It's like, why am I smiling at this? I know she's a creepy cougar. I know she's horrible and terrible. This can't be making me feel warm fuzzies. Why do I have that look on my face?
Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing. I'm all, Rand, kiss her. Just kiss her, Rand. Just do it. Yeah. And then I'm like, she manipulated us all. She compelled. Yeah. We're all under compulsion right there.
Yeah, like she's a so horrible, manipulating, gaslighting, evil, terrible person. Yeah, and
are you sure it's just not CGI, Dan?
She's so good.
All right,
that kiss on that precipice kind of gave me a little vertigo. I'm not gonna lie. I would taken a step or two back from the edge.
Don't like any of that. Yeah.
Sometimes I get dizzy when I kiss.
They're also, they're like goats. Like, what are you guys doing on the side of the mountain? Just like
also, she must have said to him, like, let's sleep outside under the stars for whatever stupid reason. And he had to have been like, but why? When there's a cabin with a really good bed, and she'd just be like,
there's a cabin like 12 feet away.
And she couldn't be like, because it's easier to be outside. I don't want that Myrtle in my house because ick, but I need him, we need to be there for him to have easy access to you so I can, egg you onto channel.
Yeah, I would have loved an explanation for why. We never saw the cabin before they wake up and get attacked. So my vote for best female actor in a starring role is Rosamund Pike. The entire season starts off with her in the bath, and I thought that was riveting and compelling and heart-wrenching. Yeah. And I think that she is being able to keep so many different motivations and forces in her face alone. She's not given a lot of lines. Except for her interactions with Alvaro Morte. We'll get into that. Talk about heavy hitters. That's anyway. So yeah, I think that she has not only been able to act like a woman on the edge, which is amazing, but the vulnerability that she's been able to show. Like take for example when she's talking to her sister and her sister lays it all out that she's stolen all of your eyes and ears, that she's in charge here, this is not your house, this is not your city, sit down and have some tea. Her face alone went from grief to shock to impressed to, all in one fell swoop. And very few actresses can pull that off.
Her facial acting is
so she's blowing my mind, and I'd have to give her the Academy. It does look like chat believes that Kate is also wins the award for the first 4 episodes. The next category for the mid-season Academy Awards. Let's go with the best male supporting actor. Which side character has had the biggest impact? Who gets the best acting for male supporting actor?
Honestly,
no. Please lie.
No, can you? Yeah, can you?
Yeah,
I mean,
this is the way of the Leaf. We don't.
So
we
I
don't
feel like Ferris actually counts as a supporting actor, and if he
I agree. I agree.
So at that point, him. And the only reason that I don't, because I'd like to count Donal, but he hasn't done enough. But I'm so impressed with him, with his taking on the role as Matt. But I need him to go out and do more stuff before I can, really be allowed to vote on him, because it's just like he hasn't done enough. So yeah, Ferris is just like, he also steals every scene that he's in. He's just like constantly, and as part of it's I think the camera angles that they do with him, they constantly zoom in on him, or do not exactly a fish lens, but it's just like they do all kinds of stuff. They almost do the camera angles that they do with him almost look futuristic. It's like they kind of, whatever perspectives they do, they're just, but he is great. So yeah, I vote for him.
For the Dan.
I am going to have to agree. I was thinking, would I pick Logain? And no, not for these 4 episodes. I don't necessarily like Logain in the garden, like him throwing the thing. It was fine, but it wasn't great to me. I think, but what Ishmael does, I mean, he humanized a Trolloc. He picked up a little girl, and we suddenly saw like a cool side of him. And this isn't, I mean, he's doing this stuff. I mean, I like him on the Shanshan traveling boat of people over sand. I like him on things. I like seeing him, and I like him talking to Perrin. Saying the more wolf you get, the more I own you. Mm-hmm. Shit like that's creepy. I like it. To me, he's killing it, and so he gets my best supporting actor.
See, I got it. Yes. It's a strong. Both you guys, especially when you combine forces like the Wonder Twins. But I'm gonna have to disagree. I believe he hits kind of just one note and keeps that note for a very long time. It's a beautiful note, but only he could do it. But that doesn't show like the width and breadth of acting. He's calm and composed in everything he does. I think that Belle Doman showed more in his scene with Moiraine than Fair has, and it's just again like he's an overlord character who's not tested in the slightest yet. He's just kind of calmly going about his business. I'm imagining it's going to get way better. And I do like how he's portraying it, but I can't say he's a tour de force just yet. But yeah, my best, I would have to give it to Avor Morte. He is portraying a madman. He went from a benefactor of all humankind to this raving madman. I think he's very compelling in it, believable. And it's not just one note. I think there's several nuanced aspects of his character that are coming out, and so yeah, I have to give it to him. But again, it's funny, it's a hard category.
Ryan, you'll learn one day that Morgan's side is always the right side. I mean,
no, I think Ryan's points are excellent. Honestly, I agree that like the scene that Bale Doman is in, I thought was very impressive with his acting. I thought it was super great. I'm assuming we're going to see him again, considering she told him, go to sea in the East or West. So I'm excited to see him pop up again.
This is one of my favorite comments ever. Way to enter our community. Earlier when I heard best character, I immediately said Hopper, so I guess I'll go with the dog playing him, but I don't know their name. Yeah. All right.
I agree with that.
All right. So the next category in the Mid-Season Academy Awards is the Best Supporting Female Actress, actor to star. So yeah, let's. Who do you give the Best Supporting Female Actor? Who Just jump in when you have an answer.
You know, I should have figured this was next, and I still have no one in my head. Like, I should have already planned ahead.
Logic would have, deductive reasoning would have.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to have a tie between Kira Coveney, because I think that she is absolutely.
Who is that? I'm sorry.
That's Elaine.
Okay.
She's perfect, like perfect in a way that I don't think that. I mean, I knew she was going to be good, but it's like she manages to nail Elaine's all of her contrasts of her being tone deaf while managing, wanting to be sensitive, and her, like privilege, but like her desire to have friends, like just because she's a character of all of these contrasts, and her like just little glimpses of like when she's like, I'm not going to rat out the person who let my maids in, I will take the punishment, and doubling down when Sheriam's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you for 3 months, and she's like, right on, before breakfast or after, bring it. You could see that Egwene is very fucking impressed about it. Like the whole, just everything that she does is so good, and I can't wait to see more of her. I can't wait to see her, because you could tell that Nynaeve's that Nynaeve's not impressed with her. I can't wait to see her show her true spirit to Nynaeve, and for them to combine and work really well together. The other one, is it Lindsay Duncan? Is the name of the one who plays Anfair?
That's my guess. Yeah.
Okay, so
let's go with that.
The one who plays Moraine's sister, she hasn't had a lot of scenes, but she's so good. Like, just the difference from her attitude toward Rand and the way she's kind of great gaming at the party, coming across as very, sweet, kind of, feeling out, giving him all the dope on how the hunt for the horn isn't real. And then, like, once you get the second part where you hear about how, she had to be there and be shit on by all the other houses, the way that Lanfear snubs her at the party comes across as far more impactful, and, like, just everything that she does, how obviously hurt she is when Moraine's like, I don't want your tea, I got shit to do, basically barging into the house and just acting like a dick, when it's obvious that this is somebody that she's loved and idolized all along. And it's just sort of like, I thought she did such a good job.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
well said.
So Kevin, I hear what you're saying. Varen was good. I am going to say Alana, though. Alana, every time she is on screen now, I get happy. I like what she has to do. I like how she's handling Lan. I like her family. I like how she is open about fucking, and everyone knows it. And she's like, no slut shaming here.
That dirty joke her sister told.
That was great. That was great. And I'm a very visual thinker. So I was like, there's several ways. All right,
so, for me, it's Alana. Alana has solidified herself in my head as like a cool character that I want to see more of on screen.
Yeah. All right, that's great answers for me. I thank you, Morgan. You stole my thunder. I want to give a tie between Kira and I guess her name is Lindsay Duncan. Mm-hmm. I believe that Kira Coveney has already supplanted my headcanon, which is fascinating. But I remember thinking that when they first announced her and we talked about her on the show, it's like she does seem absolutely perfect, and she's playing it out perfectly. Doesn't have a lot to do so far, except kind of be perfect. That's going to change, obviously, and I can't wait for it to change. So it's hard to give her the award because she is just kind of playing perfect princess. Hell, she's bringing the beers. She's the life of the party.
She's a home brewer, guys.
I know. It's amazing.
Home brewers are pretty cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm sure there's some home brewers up in Alaska.
All of them.
All right, so but I have to give the award to Lindsay Duncan because she is I guess she's an amazing actress. I've seen her in other things. I don't know. I can't name them. But that fragile power, which is real power, it's still power. But then when she's talking about how no one's going to laugh at the Damagers again, and the kind of the sinister underpinnings of that, I thought was amazing. It didn't come out in language; it came out in her body language.
I'm like, bring me some more Dama drama. I want some more of that.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, show me Barthanas. I want to see a shit show. I want the Dama drama. I want to see a shit show. I want something to happen, and I want just the TAVERN to come on in and just blow it up. We see Rand in that fancy blue coat. I'm assuming he's going to have to go to another party. We're going to have Barthanas. Something's going to go wrong, and Moiraine's going to ruin everything. Rand's going to ruin everything. Everything's going to go to hell. Bring me the Dama drama.
Yes. Okay, so I believe that chat is a little bit split. We have Lindsay Duncan. We have Kara Coveney. We have one vote for Madeline. The Innkeeper. I don't know who that is. The Innkeeper, she's so cool and collected, yet she's slightly...
Oh, Liana. Yeah, she was really good, too.
The Keeper, not the Innkeeper. God, I can't read. Sorry. Jesus, who's the Innkeeper?
Yeah, the Keeper. She's really cool.
Oh, and that one scene when Liandrin confronts her, and the lighting, when she turns to her left, and the lighting behind her is, like, angelic.
And she's all, fuck off. Why don't you?
God, okay, so let's do the next category. The next category in the mid-season Academy Awards is the best writing. Which episode has the best writing and why? Which episode has the best writing? Chat, please.
Episode 4. I think episode 4 has the best writing. So it was the beautiful cold open. It was really good, super riveting, and then the fact that it transferred right into the Dama drama, and it was just, I felt, a lot of people seem to not like the pacing of it so much, but I thought it was really good. But I really like the political stuff, and I also really like the relationship building, so I just felt like it had it all. I felt like it had it all. It got me in the heart, it got me in the head, it was riveting and terrifying, and it was everywhere. I felt like I got everything with it, and I immediately watched it again. I was just in love with it.
I think I want to say episode 2.
That's a good one, too. That was my next choice.
Yeah, I want to say episode 2. I struggled a little with the first one. I didn't like the pacing of it so much. There was a couple weird scenes for me. Episode 2, I was like, okay, this is a good one. I like this one a lot. And to me, it's been superior to episode 3. Episode 4 had bigger things occur, but I still think episode 2 was a better episode.
Okay. I'd have to say episode 3. And that's Nynaeve's testing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Nynaeve's testing... Loyal goes Super Saiyans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3.
By the way, are we ever going to address that Loyal almost died?
Episode 2 is the kick-ass battle.
Okay, that's episode 2. That's when Loyal's throwing people around.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, are we ever going to address that Loyal almost dies?
You mean at the end of this?
With an evil dagger that should have killed him instantly. Is that ever going to be addressed?
I don't know. I felt like that was not necessary.
He's gonna take off his shirt and have like a cool scar.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I would have gotten away from those Shanchin if it hadn't been for being stabbed in the stomach. Ooh, I would have been an adventure if I hadn't taken an arrow in the knee.
Ogier have 4 nipples, so I hope he does take his shirt off.
No, okay, yeah. So for me, episode 3, I think that's so far that's the highlight of the entire 2 seasons, and the most memorable thing I think so far. It's like one of those scenes in television that I'll never forget. Kind of like the Battle of the Bastards and Game of Thrones. Like Nynaeve's testing was that impactful for me. I thought. It was everything. So yeah, I have to give best writing to episode 3. And I believe so. We have some chat. Not many people are telling us what their answers are, but we have episode 3, episode 4. It is split. All right. Last category. for our mid-season Academy Awards for the Wheel of Time, seasons episodes 1 through 4. Best episode. What is the best episode so far?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Controversial.
I know. I was very surprised. I saw a Twitter poll, and I was shocked to find out that the majority of people thought that episode 3 was the best episode, because I found episode 4 like a cut above the rest.
Well, gosh, episode 4 has the most cool stuff going on. I don't know if it's the best episode, though, man. It's like, it has cool. All right, I'm going to say episode 4. I really like Ran and Celine together. I like their scenes together. I think Ran needs someone who's into him. That's why I like Min. Min is just like unconditionally into him, and that's what Celine is giving Ran here. And I think that she is genuine. She's like, please just fucking channel. Just show me your shit. Just please, I'm ready. I'm
like,
ready.
Whip out the power. Whip it out.
Whip it out. Fucking whip it out. Give it, not the tip. I want the whole thing. And so I'm down with, I'm going to say episode 4.
Okay, and I'm going to have to give it to episode 3. I think it's the best written, as I just said. And I thought it was the best pacing. And I honest to God, during episode 4, I looked on my phone for a second, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's a first." I got a little bored for a second there. So, but to be honest, when I watched it the second time, I liked it more, for sure. But I do have to give episode 3 my bid for the best episode so far in the mid-season Academy Awards. Yay! Clap, clap, clap.
So then it says 3, 4, 2, and 1, and I think 1 was the weakest as well. I think 2. I think 2 is better than 3, though. So
I think 2 is better than 3 as well. I'm at a 4, 2, and then I feel like 1 and 3 kind of tie for me, because I thought 1 was great. So I'm gonna have to go pretty soon, guys.
Yeah. We're wrapping up the episode. Yeah.
One thing I do want to say is that as far as like keeping an eye out for Easter eggs and stuff, so far in this season we've had 2 wells. Like, I only recall 1 well last season. We had the well in episode 4 at the cold open, while Logain is like heals the king and everything. But we've had 2 wells at this point. We had the one where Moraine's drawing the water in episode 1, and then we have the one where Lan and fucking Maxim are having their conversation. And so I'm wondering, are they gonna keep interspersing wells throughout? Like, how many more are we going to get this season?
Oh, okay.
They're showing us more of them. I'm like, are we just getting... Are they...
It's like we don't actually get Dumai's wells. We just get a bunch of wells.
I don't think that's what's... I don't think that this is it, where it's like you don't get Dumai's wells, but you do get... that's not what it is.
Okay.
It's just like foreshadowing.
You're like, well, we gave you wells.
Because, like, I remember listening to... like, Wheel Takes talking about the first season, and listening to like how Ali was complaining about the fact that the way that the shot is done, the well in the scene in episode 4 season 1 is actually, like, if you weren't purposefully putting it there, really badly placed. And so it's just sort of like, they're being put there as like the foreshadowing, and so I'm just sort of like, cool. I'm wondering if we're just going to get more and more of them as they go along.
Yeah,
so keep an eye out.
That's fun. That's awesome. All right, I think we've had a great talk. This is about let's effort to have you back on when episode 8 comes out, so we can have the Academy Awards for the entire
DK
series.
agrees with you that 3 was number 1, right?
Okay. No.
I start school in a couple weeks, but so like the last couple episodes, but I'll make time. It's like I'll figure it out. And yeah.
Okay. Well, if you haven't already, everyone, please go and follow and subscribe to Podcast of the Dragon, YouTube, and podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts put into your earbuds. She's amazing. The most unique takes out there about the series.
It's a master's course. It's a freaking TED Talk of every.
It's everything. You learn about her. You learn about her life. You learn about her takes on the world. One of the great minds we've ever met. So thank you, Morgan. Yeah, please don't be a stranger.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, hopefully. Right.
All right. So everyone, So we're going to continue just having our Sunday Tavern Talks with Jansen, and then following it up with a breakdown episode. So we're going to continue next week, episode 5, and we're going to carry on. So this is the schedule. Tavern Talk with Jansen. It will be book only, and then we'll follow that up with get crazy about Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon gave
Morgan,
us
the better. More Morgan.
I think everyone agrees. All right, so again, if it is a brand new thing for our channel, but we do have memberships available on YouTube. So if you'd like to participate and help out the channel, you can join us. I think there's a nominal monthly fee, and it's all goes to help us continue doing this. And then I guess you get a fun little different colored name when you're chatting with us, which is fun. So
it's now green.
Yeah. The original sin and
the original sin.
Yes, love seeing all these new names. New Jeremy Sweat, don't be a stranger. Not all who wander are lost. Don't be a stranger. Kevin Murphy, it's good to see you again. Everyone, be nice to each other. Run for your lives. Yeah. This is the way of the Leaf.